Why play Miss Fortune bot? Well, her poke is amazing. She is a beast in a teamfight, she is a solid lane bully, and she is decently mobile with move speed. However, she is very mana intensive, especially in the early game, and if locked down, she is incredibly squishy. Miss Fortune's passive is her love tap, where her first basic attack against a new enemy deals additional damage and marks the target, and this mark expires upon attacking a new enemy. Miss Fortune's Q is a point-and-click ability which deals damage to the target hit. If there's an enemy standing in a cone behind the target hit, this will then bounce onto them, dealing the damage again. This ability can critically strike, and if the first shot kills the target, the bounce will always critical strike. Also, this ability applies on-hit effects, including her love tap. Miss Fortune's W has a passive where she gains bonus movement speed after being out of combat. If she's out of combat for longer than 10 seconds, this movement speed bonus is increased. The active on this ability grants her a large amount of bonus attack speed, and each time she marks a new target with her passive, this cooldown is reduced. Miss Fortune's E places a circle on the floor which deals damage to all targets within and slows them for 2 seconds. Miss Fortune's ultimate is her absolute bread and butter. It causes her to channel for 3 seconds, firing damage in a large cone in front of her, dealing tons of damage to all enemies hit. For combos, you'll often want to start with E to engage, followed up by an auto attack into your Q and your ultimate. And you'll find in team fights, to not go so close to auto attack, you'll often just be using E into your ultimate. For matchups, Miss Fortune does well into her mobile AD carries who she can easily poke and bully, and she can struggle against hard lane bullies who want to go in on her and keep fighting. For runes, take this. First Strike works very well with her easy poke and ultimate. For build order, start Blade and Pot into a Ghost Blade and tier 2 boots. After this, a Collector and Servalda's Grudge are great pickups before finishing a build with any of these as needed. For skill order, start Q then W then E before maxing Q then W then E, taking ult whenever you can. For summoner spells, take Flash and Heal. Starting the game, your main focus is going to be on farming hard, poking, and taking good trades. Miss Fortune's poke is incredibly strong, especially with her love tap passive, and her increased movement speed from her W means she's able to move forward and look for these easy hits before moving back to safety. In addition, her E is possibly one of the easiest and most annoying abilities in the game. As you're basically guaranteed to land it, it deals solid damage, but also the slow is crippling, especially in the early game. And with this strong ability, it gives you the options of choosing fights that you want to take, where you can easily follow up on it, or at the same time, if the enemy's running at you, to easily disengage them. During this time, you also want to be landing your Qs. And if your opponents ever walk too close to the minion wave, bounce a Q off a minion into them. And if this kills the minion beforehand, the combination of the Q critting as well as applying the love tap is a silly amount of damage. And of course, when you hit level 6, you now have access to insane amounts of damage. And if you can lock down your opponents long enough to stand in it, they will simply melt. Entering the mid game, you want to take your tower as soon as possible and rotate mid. This will put you and your support in the center of the map for easy sieging and will allow 2 strong champions to quickly roam to fights and objectives. Entering late game team fights, you want to play as the backline hypercarry. Attack anything in front of you, however your main focus is going to be on keeping good positioning to keep yourself alive. Wait for an opportunity when your opponent's team is stacked on top of each other and you're in a safe space to open up with your ultimate and delete them.